What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Foxtrot, back with another video. Sort of back with my first video for a while. First time jumping into Division 2. It's a game I've been grinding. We're going to be making videos for it. I know the game's dead. I know it's dying even more with this TU16 16.1 update. But I've been passionate about the game. I haven't ever got around to making YouTube videos for it. So that's what we're doing. I don't give a shit. We're going into it. Today we're talking about Coyotes Mask. So we're not going to go into a full build, but I want to talk about Coyotes Mask specifically and where we're getting the highest yield use out of the mask. Okay? For those of you familiar with the mask, it's an exotic. You know that there's 3 different benefits that you get depending on where you engage with your targets, where your distance of last enemy you hit. Okay? So if you're within 0 to 15 meters, you get 25% crit hit damage. Then 10 and 10, and then beyond 25 meters, 25% crit hit chance. Okay? Now remember, exotics aren't branded. So yes, they come with a talent, right? But they're not a branded piece. So if I were to stay within 0 to 15 and getting 25% crit hit damage, right, all the time, I could also run a Grupo and get 15% from the brand. You're only netting 10 extra. Now Coyotes also does share that, and we're going to talk about that at the end of the video. It's not really the focus. Okay? But if you look at the different ranges, right, notice how the 0 to 15 is 25%, and the 25 plus meters is also 25%, but a different stat. It's chance versus crit damage. Okay? Now if you look at the attributes, so you'll see this on attributes on your gear and attributes on your gear, okay, as well as gear mods. The scaling is different for crit chance versus crit damage. Max chance is 6%. Max crit damage is 12%. It's double. Okay? So if we were to convert these bonuses into attributes, we're basically getting twice as many. We're getting twice as much value out of using the Coyotes Mask in this last range over here. 25% crit hit chance. Right? 25% crit damage is basically just over 2 attributes of 12. 2 by 12, 24. Right? 4 by 6 is also 24. But that's 4 slots of chance. So when you're using it in that range, you're opening up 4 slots that you would have had to run chance elsewhere, and you can now run something else. And it doesn't even have to be crit damage. But 4 times 12, if you replace all of those chances with crit damage, that's what? 48% crit damage? Which is significantly more than the 25 that you're getting from running the mask in the 0 to 15 range. Just for a simple comparison. Now obviously there's a lot of other factors that go into using it. You know, you have to be able to maintain that range. You have to be able to engage that range. You know, this could sound crazy. If you just throw Coyotes Mask onto an SMG, you don't need to run chance anywhere, and you'll have max chance all the time, you know. But your SMG is not going to be slapping beyond 25 meters, right? But if you take a look at this build, right, I'm using a rifle, I'm using focus. I use this build in Legendary, so I'm constantly staying in the back, pretty far off. I'm easily engaging over 25 meters, sometimes a lot more. And if you look at how much chance I've rolled onto this build, which I will talk about in a build video specifically for this, but look at all my mods are crit damage, crit damage. I even put handling here just because I don't need the extra chance, right? And then a regular chance damage over here. And so we're at 34% crit chance. Now you really want to be at 35. Plus minus a little bit, not the end of the world. But 35 basically, when you're running Coyotes this way, is your new crit chance cap. 35 plus the 25 that you're going to get from Coyotes Mask in that damage range is going to put you at 60, right? So if you're level 1000 and you only need to make up 35% crit chance. You get 10 from the watch. Like, it's barely any crit chance you gotta put on your actual build. Now, of course, you can put some mods on, and I think if you'll see, I'm not even using, I'm running an M1A, I'm not even using a crit chance mod. It's because it's so easy to make up the crit chance, especially when you're running high-end pieces. So you get the 2 attributes, right? So this is really the strongest way to use Coyotes Mask. And you'll see that it opens up a lot of possibilities for builds when you use it in this way, because it makes up so much crit chance. 4 attributes worth of crit chance, right? It'll let you run so many other things, or just stack more crit damage, you know? And what you'll see in another video is I also incorporate this into gear sets, but I'll save that for then. Another thing to consider, right, is Coyotes does share the benefits. So we've been looking at it from more of a solo perspective, how it's going to impact your own build, but ultimately you are sharing it with the whole team when you're running in a group. Now, fellow crit builds won't take advantage of the 25% chance that you're giving them all the time, because if they're running a crit build, they're already going to be at the cap. You know, you can't go beyond the cap, so they're not really taking advantage of that at all. But if you have people on your team that aren't running crit builds, be it a tank or take a, you know, this is just a skill build, hardlight or whatever, but, you know, all skill tier with a capacitor, right? The capacitor is already giving them damage, or if you're running like the test subject, you get 40, I think this gives you 45, you know, 45% damage, plus the mods that come with this. Look at our chance and our damage. This is just from being level 1000, maxing the watch, and running a capacitor. So the mods are really strong for crit on the capacitor. 20 plus the 25 you're giving them. That's 45% chance. You're critting at 75. That is respectable for a fucking skill build. Like, come on. And over the course of a legendary mission, especially if you're comfortable in a skill build and you're able to put out a lot of weapon damage, like be shooting a lot, you'll see at the end that the amount of weapon damage that you're going to be doing is going to be significant. You're going to be doing hundreds of millions of damage from the weapon, especially with taking advantage of someone else on your team running that 25% chance from the Coyotes. You know, on top of that, I got glass cannon on this build, you know. But this is a skill build that when I run it is actually going to put out a lot of weapon damage as well. And that's probably the biggest advantage you're going to get from the group perspective of Coyotes. Now, from the other way, right, if you're doing it Coyotes in the damage range, everyone could always do with more crit damage. But if you stack, you know, another 25% crit damage here, I'm still only critting for 20% of the time, so I don't know if it's that good. But anyway, the focus of this was really to look at the big advantage of Coyotes Mask. It's in that 25 plus meters. Okay, now there's, you know, you can build around that, but I'm not a huge Coyotes Mask fan until I really ran the numbers and started using it in that use case. Because I didn't find that it was super strong, right? You're getting, I talked about swapping to a group where you get 10% extra crit damage. Ooh, it's not super crazy, you know. Same sort of thing in this range. If you run a chest gun instead, you can make up the 10% crit chance, and then you're getting an extra 10%, you know, crit damage. But you know, if you're engaging at all these different ranges, it's not consistent. It's a little all over the place. If you're already at the crit chance cap and you're expecting to get, you know, 0 to 15, and then it goes down into, you know, the further range, then you're wasting the crit hit chance. So I found it inconsistent, but this is really where it shines. And it's made me want to put Coyotes Mask into the build. Figure out a way to make it work. Yeah, I think that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.